Hi, I'm Joe Hickman with KY3, and this is Ann Drummond, who's the namesake for Lake Drummond at Nathaniel Greene Park. And I really love the park system because I had a heart attack back in 2012. Didn't know I was having it for about 4 days because I didn't have any chest pain, no radiation from the shoulders. I just had extreme fatigue, and I went for 4 days and didn't do anything about it. And when I finally went into the doctor, they immediately took me straight through the emergency room into the cath lab and put 3 stents in me. And while I was there, to show you how bad things were, a woman came in and got about 3 inches from my face and said, "I need to know who to call." And I had no idea what she was talking about. I was intubated at the time, looking at all the stuff flying around me. And I looked at her and I couldn't talk, and I just went, like, give me something to write on. And I really didn't know what she was talking about, so I thought, well, I guess they're trying to find out. I've already given them my emergency information, so I guess they want me to tell them who to call. And my mom was alive at the time, so I thought, I'll just write Mom. So I took the piece of paper she gave me and wrote Mom on it and turned it around to her, and she looked at it and she goes, "I don't understand what you're saying." And I looked, and it was wow, because I'd stuck it upside down. And so at that point I was frustrated, and I pulled the little tube out and I said, "Can we wait till after this is over with to have this conversation?" And I don't remember anything after that because they just all jumped on me. And when I woke up the next day, the nurse who was helping me out said, "Don't ever de-intubate yourself." And I said, "I don't know what that means." She said, "You pulled a tube out." And I said, "Well, there was this lady in front of my face, like 2 inches away, asking who to call, and I didn't understand what was going on." And she goes, "Well, they were getting ready to call next of kin because you had coded twice." And there was actually one part that was very surreal where I was going down the hallway being wheeled in a wheelchair to a place where I was getting ready to have an x-ray. And there was a nice man, an 80-year-old volunteer, who was pushing my wheelchair. And I was thinking how strange it was that he was not in the wheelchair and that I was in it, and that he was having to wheel me down the road. And he was kind of staring at me for a while, and all of a sudden he said, "You know, you kind of look like that feller that used to be on TV." And I went, "Used to be on TV? Maybe I have really died." So I wasn't in too good of a shape when I came out, and the first thing they told me was change your diet and start to exercise. And the first thing I thought of was, I hate treadmills. They bore me. I need to go someplace where I can walk or jog and it's beautiful and I really want to be there. And so I started going to the Springfield Park system. At the time I knew about Sequoia and Natty Green here, but I'd never been out on the trails. And so I started going, and it made an intense difference in my life, both physically and emotionally, because I got to the point where I just love to come out and just take it in, think about things. It's a great way to get away from the world, even though you're still in the city, really. And also, of course, to get your cardio workout as well. And I started expanding. I started playing tennis again, which I had not played for a long time, going to Gillen Waters and going to Phelps Grove Park. Then I started going to the north side to Lost Hill Park, Ritter Springs, then to Lake Springfield. And as time went on, I just came to love all the parks for their beauty and the fact that you could just go there and mellow out and get away from the world and also get your workout at the same time. Sequoia and Natty Green are two of my favorites, though, because they both have trails going in both directions from each park. And of course, the parks are very beautiful with a lot of flowers and ponds, water features, which you can find pretty much everywhere in the park system. But when I go on one direction here out of Natty Green, I always run into an area, even though there are houses all around, that have deer and wild turkey. And that means a lot to me because my mom, who has since passed away, always loved deer. And every time I go out and see those deer, it reminds me of her and puts me in a great spot. And I also discovered a hidden talent that I had, because I am the deer whisperer. And I never knew this until I started coming to the Springfield Parks. When I go out, first time it happened, I saw some deer here in the park, and I just, for some reason, got in my little boy's voice that I have, and I just went, "Hello, how you doing? You're very pretty." And I'm not making this up. The deer stopped, looked up at me, and kind of cocked their heads like, "Who is that? What is that?" And I've started doing that ever since, and it works every time. No deer's ever run away from me. They all just kind of look at me curiously, and a lot of them will actually take about 2 or 3 steps towards me because they're wondering what I am. So I discovered my hidden talent because of that too. And I really believe that the Springfield Park system has truly saved my life. Had it not been for all this, I wouldn't have gotten the exercise and the emotional support that I needed. And when I come here, it truly does bring out my inner child. And I can say that every time I'm here, my inner child is blowing bubbles. How you doing? Hi. Hi. And by the way, there's someone who loves the park system even more than I do. Her name is Kiwi, as in K-Dog. And while I love the beauty of the park, she loves all the smell.